Hello, Rise Up Visionaries. I'm Susan May, and I'm here to share my random ramblings and anything that goes through my brain to inspire you to tune into your intuition so you can begin your journey of unplugging. Okay, I have no idea if or when that started, so I don't know if my beautiful intro went through. This is actually take two because I tried to go live with Mike's iPhone, and the cell service back here in our office, ironically, where we work, is not very good. So I'm trying again, and I'm going to use my computer setup. Hopefully I have the microphone selected correctly. I am joined by my messy bed, and oh, see, now it's saying that my frame rate is too low, so this may be spotty. There's Yoshi. And then I've got my cat over here, Cosmo. So I apologize if this isn't the best quality. I don't really know what the deal is back here. This is where we work, so I don't know why the internet isn't better. So anyways, I have had a lot of thoughts swirling today. And in particular, thinking about words that people use when they're speaking with others. And a good example of this that comes to my mind is like people that say they're spiritual versus people who feel a specific religion, like they are very religious. For me, what I feel is that many times people are saying the same thing and they're just using different words. They have different paradigms or different frameworks for expressing what their beliefs are, but at their core, many of the beliefs are the same. So my own religious upbringing and spiritual journey has had a little bit of diversity to it, not a lot, but I was raised first in a Methodist church, a Protestant church with my grandmother, and then I went to the United Church of Christ with my mom through my teen years. And Mike and I were married by a Catholic priest because his family is Catholic, but I was not Catholic when we got married. And then after a year, I decided I wanted to convert because we knew we wanted children, and I just wanted that unity for our family. And converting was actually a very beautiful process for me because Mike and I, he was like my sponsor, so we did classes together. So it was very, it just brought us closer together. You know, it was bonding, and I felt very close to God at that time. So then, as we've gone on, I really don't feel a strong affinity towards religion and Christianity as much anymore. But I still feel very spiritual, and I have always felt wherever I went to church or mass or a service, I've always been one to love like the homilies or the sermons, whatever word you use. Again, two words, same basic meaning, right? The leaders delivering a teaching. And I've always felt like I could hear God's word speaking to me. So that is a long intro to say one word I've been thinking a lot about is spirituality, and this spiritual, how some people think we are in a spiritual battle. And in the interview that I did last month with Elliot Freed, I asked him, like, what do you say to people who feel like they are in a spiritual battle? And he, from what I remember, his basic premise was people that feel that way kind of haven't done their personal work. And so I've just been thinking about that word spiritual and also the two together, spiritual battle, because I think a lot of people are really feeling these times as like good and evil, and just the division that is so stark, and people are just really looking to find hope, you know. So I finally just had this realization because the past week I have just been very emotional. I've been crying more than I have probably, I don't know, in years. And it started when we took Carter to his Spell to Communicate therapy last week, and I just had some real moments of just tears, you know. And then with my membership, with my Rise Up members, I played the song Rise Up by Andra Day, I think that's her name. And again, just I couldn't stop the tears. Like just the emotion rose up so strong within me. And then I've been reading a book, John Holt's book, Never Too Late, which I think if someone read it, they'd be like, why are you crying? But there were just certain moments that he described his journey with music and with learning cello that just touched my heart so much. And I just felt like crying again, like maybe not weeping, but like the tears rose to my eyes. And the thing that I'm noticing is that it's not sad. I'm not sad, and I don't feel bad, and it actually feels really good. And I'm just feeling a lot. And I think a lot of people have been talking about like it's just an emotional time, and people are just feeling all the feelings. And I was just thinking about how long have I suppressed that part of me that was, as a child, I was so sensitive and I cried. I would cry in school. I think I did a live about this a while ago. And I was always so embarrassed. I hated it. I hate that I cried. And so over time, I got better at stopping myself from crying, which I don't know is a good thing. And so I'm thinking like, well, maybe this is, and it feels good to cry, and it feels healing, and it feels cleansing. And so I just feel it's like part of this whole return to self. And this lately, I just feel really calm. I'm feeling so content, and it's like awesome. And this contentment is calm, it's focused, it's happy. I feel engaged with life. I feel motivated, even when I don't necessarily feel really motivated. Like we don't always want to do the dishes and the laundry and clean the bathrooms, which, by the way, I really need to do that. They're really disgusting. But I feel enough motivation to be like, okay, just do it. Like, you just got to get it done, which is like so much better than like when I don't know about you, but like when I am down in the dumps or depressed, like I think this is common, you just don't have energy to do those daily things. So all of this is related to this spiritual thing. I feel like I'm having a very spiritual experience right now. Oh, the other time that I felt like crying this week was I was on my friend Bex. She and Oliver have their company is called Soul Energies, or their business, I should say, and they are amazing. And I did their workshop about meeting your spirit guides, and it was so beautiful. And there were just a couple times I was just like welling up. I was just so overcome. And this calm feeling, I've been talking about this for a while with, if you watch that Elliot Fried interview, he talked about a really great story of indigenous people. And I don't know, I think it was a real story, or it's based on, a practice where when, like, say the men would go out to hunt, when they came back, there was like a hut outside of their village, or if you don't, maybe it probably wasn't even called a village, their tribe. And they would stay there until they felt ready to assimilate back into their tribe. And the story was of this young boy, or like maybe young man, who went to a city, a more modern city. And he didn't go for long, days, maybe a couple weeks. And when he came back, he had to stay in this hut for months, 6 months or a year. And he would come out into the garden. And so people would bring them food, of course. But the whole point was just being in the city for a very short time made this young man have to take so much time for his baseline sympathetic, system to come back down. And what I have been noticing over the past year is these different choices I've made, like back in the winter or spring when I stopped Facebook for a couple months. It was just like a detox. Like I just slowly became calmer. And now, as I slowly shift my attention from what sources of information and what sources of inspiration I am really being drawn to, I again become calmer. And now I don't have an iPhone anymore. Look at this thing. This is my new phone. Look at this keypad. Now I don't want to act like I'm so like cool that, you know, I'm going like low tech, because I still have my husband's iPhone and I still have my laptop. And we will probably be getting an iPad because there are things that I need to do. But I do think just not having this one little device that's so convenient and easy for me to do everything on, it just changes your habits, right? It just stops and makes you think. So all these things are like just making me calmer, and I've just really been focusing on myself and what can I do? What can I do to be the best person I can be, to be the best mother, to be the best wife, to be the best friend, to support my members, my awesome 8 founding members in the Rise Up community. What can I do? And so it's not a spiritual battle, okay? It's not. Elliot was right about that. But it is a spiritual experience. Can you imagine if every person did this, where they really just focused on what they need to do to be a good person? Of course, I'm not just saying like selfishly, but if they stopped worrying about what everyone else was doing and trying to keep up with all of this stuff and really just came back to self. Can you imagine how powerful that would be? I mean, for myself, every time I go now to a different store, today I had to go to T-Mobile for this, and I have to talk to myself about the nervousness I feel about not wearing the face covering. And so far we have really held strong, even though the county we live in reinstituted this months ago. And so I just think when you do this spiritual work inside of yourself, and you have this spiritual experience, you do become stronger, and it does start to have this ripple effect on the people around you and your community. And so we really just don't understand the power of that. I mean, think about, I know there was water experiments that someone did where they played sounds and it impacted how the water looked under the microscope. Or plants. Have you heard of experiments where people talk nicely to one plant, and to one plant they use very hateful language and just angry tones, and the one plant flourishes and the other withers and dies? These are all energetic things. These are all spiritual things. So yeah, those are just some thoughts I've had swirling today. If you haven't entered the book giveaway for this week, it's a good one. So check my pinned post at the top of Rise Up with Susan May. And I think that's everything. I love you all. And remember, be bold, be brave, be you. Because who else is there to be? I will see you again on Friday. Bye.